Hi, how you doing? My name is Bob Sorensen. I'm the Chief Analyst for Quantum Computing here at Hyperion Research, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of the quantum computing sector, and I'm going to try to do it in 420 seconds or less. So let's start it with the big picture here from the overall quantum computing market summary. Based on a recent study we did of about 112 different quantum computing players from around the world, we estimate that the global market was worth about $490 million in 2021, with an associated anticipated compound annual growth rate between 21 and 2024 of about 22%. That brings us to about $900 million going forward into 2024. Interesting, if you look at the composition of the current quantum computing supply base, it is dominated by a few players. A few of them have revenues that were over $10 million in quantum computing specific revenues in 2021. But what I think is more interesting is that about half the companies that we spoke to had 2021 revenues of less than $500,000. And of those, half of those had no revenues at all. So there's still a significant percentage of quantum computing aspirant corporations who have not made any revenues yet. They're still in research and development phase, but we expect many of them will be coming to market in the next year or the year after that. Another takeaway from the study we did in the context of this market effort was we found that cloud access models will continue to dominate for the next 3 years or so. That means that suppliers and users alike are both looking at more or less kicking the tires on quantum computing by using a low barrier to entry test phase through access of cloud service providers. Many of the quantum computing hardware and software makers make their products available through some of the large cloud service providers, and we see that about 64% of the companies we spoke to who are quantum computing suppliers are expecting cloud access models will be the primary method that is used to access their technology. Some of the most promising market segments that we see for the next 3 years at least. Certainly, the quantum computing sector itself would become one of the largest consumers of its own technology as hardware vendors need access to quantum computing software. Software vendors need access to quantum computing hardware. But that said, we see a wide range of interest from the financial sector, academia, chemical and chemistry, as well as aerospace, defense, weather, climate, pharmaceuticals. It is amazing that when we talk to any number of verticals out there in the commercial sector, we see some degree of interest to explore the potential of quantum computing for these companies to help address some of their most vexing current computational programming problems. Let's just break down the quantum computing sector by revenue. This is how it really will pan out for at least the next 3 years. We see that quantum computing hardware, both on-prem and cloud-based, will be about a quarter of the market, where software, whether it be middleware or application software, will be a little about a third of the sector. But I think most interesting is professional supports for quantum computing. We're looking at about 14%. Actually, I believe that number is a little low. I think that the lack of ability of current enterprise and advanced computing end users who are well steeped in the classical world but don't have the technical expertise or in-house support to do quantum computing integration into their existing workloads will cause them to go out and look at professional services and support to help them solve some of the problems of integrating quantum computing into their existing computational workload environment. If you look at the algorithms, again, these are by revenues as given to us by those quantum computing suppliers that we surveyed. The major players remain, as they've been for the last few years, machine learning, optimization, modeling and simulation, Monte Carlo processes, and cybersecurity. So the range of applications is relatively broad. And what I find very interesting is these are the same applications that are traditionally some of the most common and most vexing in the classical world. So quantum computing is well versed, or at least well positioned, to help augment some of the existing compute workload complexities of the classical world out there right now. It's interesting if you look at the current field of current commercial quantum computing hardware suppliers. Right now, we're tracking this number actually astounded me when I first came up with the summation here. About 44 identified quantum computing hardware developers out there. And what I find interesting is if you look at the graphic on the left, there's a wide geographic distribution going on here. This is not just US centric. It's not just US and EU. It's not just US, EU, and Asia Pacific. It is a broad base of interest. There is wide interest in developing quantum computing hardware in a large number of countries around the world, driven in part by growing interest in government programs, and part by venture capital interest in finding good investments that are just not in the United States. The other thing is when you look at the quantum modalities, the physical implementation that establishes the quantum phenomenon needed to do quantum calculations. There's a number and broad range of modalities under consideration right now: superconducting qubits, photonics, trapped ions, spin, wide range. All of them offer significant advantages in some case and present some significant challenges in others. To me, the key to look for when you pick about modalities is which ones have the best opportunity for scaling and which ones have the best opportunity for addressing some of the vexing concerns with error correction when it comes to scaling quantum computers up to this holy grail, if you will, of a million qubits. Who wins, who loses, the jury's still out. It remains to be seen, but it's going to make for an exciting time. Just so we don't give the impression that we concentrate exclusively on what's going on in the supplier base, we have done some work on looking at commercial quantum computing end users, whether they be current or aspiring or considering. And what we found, we talked to about 415 companies worldwide, chose them essentially at random, and we found that about 70% of them are looking at some kind of in-house quantum computing program. And that can range from all the way from something as aggressive as a proof of concept research program, all the way down to something that may be just having a person monitor the technology on, say, a weekly or monthly basis. But there is interest. 20% plan to do so in the next few years who haven't before. So we're looking at wide commercial interest, mainly because the technology scene is offering a range of corporate level benefits, improving research capabilities, driving innovation, and complete and increasing revenue. And as I said earlier, nearly every vertical we spoke to is interested in looking at quantum in some capability. Well, the bottom line here, and we'll finish up in hopefully about 10 seconds or less, is the quantum section is maturing. We're starting to see companies go public. We're starting to see trade. We're starting to see the implications of being a nascent market segment. And that's going to make the sector not just technology driven anymore, but finance driven, but policy driven, and some of the other things that happen when you move from a research environment to becoming a commercial player. And that also will add some real interest. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate the effort, and I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. I hope you enjoy the rest of Hyperion's presentations today, and you have a great SC22. So long now.